Question says, why is it so hard to get married in 2016? I'm struggling with my desires. Mufti, please help. We say there are several different problems and several different ingredients in this difficult pie of marriage, this dish. No doubt about that. There's some problems which are religious, spiritual, some problems which are economic, some problems which are financial, some problems which are cultural, social problems. And the challenge becomes even tougher when these problems overlap each other and they meet up and they join forces. And then the person feels that the problems are unsurmountable. It's a mountain I can't hurdle. Everybody understand this? We say that the foundation of all good is going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. It says in the Quran. So run to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What did Ibrahim alayhi salam say? إِنِّي طيب خير. Al-Muhim. We won't go too far in that. Al-Muhim. فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Run to Allah. Flee to Allah. Go back to Allah. How often do you ask Allah to support you, to aid you, to make things easy for you, and to give you the sabr that you need in a daily 9 to 5 life in 2016? So that's my first piece of advice and my first solution, is to go back to Allah. Everybody understand this? And I'm sure if we all looked at ourselves, look at what we do, how much dua we make, what duas we make, we would find a great deal of shortcomings, a great deal of deficiency in our connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on one level or another. On one level, what? Or another. That's first and foremost. Secondly is, it all depends on what you mean by marriage. Marriage according to the Sunnah, marriage according to your culture, marriage according to the standards of 2016, Canada, America, wherever you live. Why is it so hard? Is it hard to find a wife, to live with a wife according to what's basic, the basic necessities to make you and her happy? Or is it hard to do things based off of the standards of others? Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu, in Sahih Bukhari, it is narrated that he said, and other places besides Sahih Bukhari, that he said, akinna nasa min al-harri wal-qarri. He says, protect the people from the heat and from the cold. And he then told them, وَلَا تُصَفِّرْ وَلَا تُحَمِّرْ أو إياك والتصفير والتحمير أو كما قال رضي الله عنه. He said, protect the people from extreme heat and from extreme cold, and do not color or do not paint red and do not paint yellow. Everybody understand this? What does this have to do with marriage? He's talking about masjids. Once again, the statement of Umar. He says, keep the people from cold and from heat, and do not go overboard in decoration of the masjid. So let's look at building masjids and mosques in America. Is it difficult? Is it hard? Is it burdensome to build a masjid? To make a place for the people to pray that's clean, that's open, that's running? Or according to this person's standard, and it has to be like this and look like that, and so on and so on and so forth. Everybody understand the point? But the basic necessities are relatively what? Easy. For 10 brothers, 20 brothers to get together, he brings some wood, he brings some nails, he brings some basic white paint, some basic finish, a basic carpet. Sahal. It's not that difficult. And the same applies to marriage. But when you're afraid of people more than you're afraid of Allah, marriage becomes difficult. When you're looking for the praise of people more than the praise of Allah, marriage becomes difficult. When you're looking for a specific type of wife that you feel is the standard of beauty and the standard of attractiveness and so on and so forth, then marriage could become difficult. Or when you don't look at yourself, what are you lacking? What do you bring to the table as a husband? If a woman came today and said, I want to marry you, what do you have to offer her? What do you want to tell her? What our father comes today, Khalid, says, I like you. I want you to be my son-in-law. What do you want to tell him? I'm studying in class. I don't work. This is what most Muslim youth would say. And it's not just about money. It's not just about money. It's not about having money in a big, gigantic house. But what are you involved in? I'm going to school for this. I have this job. I know this skill. I have this trade. Kevin. You have some type of future, something to base your life off of. Everybody understand this? So a woman, she wants to be taken care of. And the father of the daughter, He wants his daughter to be taken care of. It doesn't have to be a gold digger, quote unquote, or as they may say, a shine-eyed girl. It doesn't have to be that. But somebody that's going to do what? Pause? Huh? It's reality. Basic stuff. She doesn't have to be shine-eyed. Huh? A gold digger. The father doesn't have to be like this. But I want somebody that's going to have my daughter. She's not going to starve to death. She's not going to be on the street in the cold and in the heat. Married one day, knocking on the door next week. We got kicked out. Irresponsible. No stability. So oftentimes you have to do what, Jamil? You have to look at your what? Yourself. Everybody understand this? You have to look at your what? Yourself first. So these are some of the reasons why marriage is so difficult. And then we have ignorant parents, of course, unfortunately. And the truth is to be said. And the truth has never been made to be sugarcoated. The truth has not been made and sent down by Allah to be what? To be glazed. The truth is not to be glazed. There are parents that are Muslims, but they are ignorant. With both meanings of the word ignorant. Islamically ignorant, and they behave ignorantly. And they do not look at the best interests of their children. As we said the other day, they don't look at their 19-year-old daughter or their 20-year-old son and the best interests of them. Worldly interests and Islamic interests. Unfortunately, there's some parents who relive themselves through their sons. I was going to go to school and be this type of scientist, this mathematician. I was this great basketball, football player. Now you have to do what, Jamil? You have to do the same. But I don't want to play basketball. I don't want to play college. But you have the opportunity, you have the talent. That's not what I want to do. But because my career was stunted, it was cut short, now I'm reliving it through you. That's a problem. And that's not necessarily the best interest of the child. But it's what? My best interest. And there's some people that may be jealous, unfortunately, and envious of their own truth. It's reality. A woman could be envious of her own daughter. That her daughter is righteous and pious, or her daughter found a good man early on, and she had to what? 30, 35, I got married, I had a bad husband, this and that, so on, or I'm your father now. It's reality. So there are many parents, unfortunately, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, who come in the way of their children's marital prosperity. So obviously, you as a Muslim, you can't listen to what they're saying if they're talking off of ignorance. If they're basing what they say off of ignorance, then you're not to listen to them. As Allah says, Allah says, don't obey the whims of those who don't know. Do not obey the whims, the ahwa, the desires of those who do not know. So many young Muslims today, they take advice from people whom advice shouldn't be taken. They listen and they obey to people who shouldn't be listened to and obeyed. Everybody understand this? The one who's in charge. What does Sun Tzu say? He says there are commands of the sovereign which are not to be obeyed. He said what? There are orders of the sovereign which are what? Not to be obeyed. The leader. Certain things he tells the general is to do what? Look the other way. Because it's going to be disastrous for the army, for the troops, and eventually at the end of the day for the sovereign. Everybody understand this? Your mother, your father may tell you to do something, and it's going to end up being ricocheting on the entire family. You can't listen to those things that are clearly wrong. Everybody understand this? Then we have the concept of extravagance, being a spendthrift. My wedding has to be this huge, grand ballroom, this huge feast. Is that how the Prophet ﷺ had his walima? How he instructed the people to have the walima? What is more important than you? Waiting 5 years and getting married? Or getting married right now in a simple, basic sunnah walima? What's more important? Can you wait another 5 years, Imran? Single in New York City? Another 5 summers? Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be real about this. Can you wait another 5 years to finish school, to pay off this riba debt, to do this and to do that? Are you going to last that long? Is your daughter going to last that long? This is a reality. It's a bitter but sad reality. If you don't think that your daughter that's going to college has boys' names in her phone, then what else, Uncle Faz? You have a what? You live in what? It's a fantasy world. If you don't think she has friends on Facebook, and the list goes on. So, Yani, there's many different problems that end up with the difficulty of getting married. You have to take things into your own hands to find a girl that's like you, that wants things that you want. that's willing to practice the religion, simple and basic, bi'idhnillah, she's out there. But are you looking? Are you looking in the proper place? And if you did find her, what do you have to what? Offer her. And it is not about abundance, but it's about what? Sustainability. Everybody understand this? And the list goes on. It's a long lecture in itself. Many people have given lectures on this, given workshops on this. We've spoken on this many times. Marriage, the dowry, the difference between the two. Okay, cultural Islam versus what? Sunnah Islam. Everybody understand this? What is your daughter worth? Is your daughter a car? Is she a piece of jewelry? Does she have a price on her head? That's disrespect to your daughter, to your sister, by giving her to the highest bidder. My daughter, is no way that you can ever come to the worth and the value of my daughter's offer. Period. No matter what you offer her. That's my daughter. Everybody understand this? Many mufti. You can give a amount of gold. It cannot come to the value in my heart of my daughter. So what is the purpose of me getting you to bring this big lump sum of money to give to my daughter? As if I'm saying this is the what? This is the worth of my daughter. Everybody understand this? The mahar is supposed to be a token, a sadaq. It's to show that you're truthful in your desire to marry my daughter. And that you're willing to respect her and look after her. That's it. It's nothing but a what? A token. It's a symbolic piece. That's why it's called a sadaq. Pertaining to what? Sidq. That's it. My daughter is not worth $100,000 or a big ballroom walima or a gold ring or a diamond ring. What does that mean to me? All of the years that I've spent with my daughter, raising my daughter, nurturing my daughter. When I read bedtime stories to my daughter, we go out in the park and play, eat ice cream. Money can't buy that. So just look at the foolishness of the father, as if he's selling his daughter, as if she's a prostitute. This is a problem with many Muslims today. Unfortunately, the concept of extravagance, of being a spendthrift, of showing off, of looking for people to praise and to clap and to sing. Oh, Fulan's marriage was amazing, and Fulan's marriage was kala. There's nothing wrong with having nice things in Islam. There's nothing wrong with that. I like nice things. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having nice things in Islam. But the concept is, how do you get those nice things? Through ease or through what? Hardship and difficulty. Everybody understand this? If you have those nice things through ease, alhamdulillah. But if you're breaking your back, if you're falling into sin, if you're doing things that are delaying obligations, then what, Jamil? Those nice things are what? They're not for you. So this is my advice in brief with regards to getting married, the difficulties of marriage. Return back to Allah. Rectify yourself. Make sure that everything that you do is one step further towards your what? Abu Saeed? Your marriage. Everybody understand this? Wallahu a'lam.